I am Chris Ward and welcome to Unit 1, Module 2 of CSS in Depth. And in this module, we're going to look at what the C in CSS means, which is cascade, and what this means with where our styles come from and how they might apply. The declarations on your web page can conflict, and it can be hard to figure out what CSS style is applying and why. And in this module, we're going to look at some of the reasons. Let's start with a quick example. Here we have a simple web page with a heading and some links. And over here, we can see that the heading has a tag, an ID, and a class. And switching to the CSS, we can see that there is a declaration for every single one of those. And now we switch to the example and open up the web inspector to try and find out which one won. And it was the ID. So why was that? Here's a flowchart showing the various decisions that a browser makes in deciding which declaration will win. And we are going to start with looking at the first one here, which is the origin or the importance of the declaration. Origin is quite simple actually, and at this point in time there are really only two origins for your style sheet. So let's see what these are with a quick example. On this web page we have a styled title and then some styled links. And if we look over in the HTML, there is a link to the style sheet. This is called the author style sheet, and that is its origin, author. But if we look in the web inspector, and every web inspector in every browser shows this slightly differently, in Firefox we just click this checkbox, we now also see all the user agent styles. These are styles defined by the browser and are applied in every case and are all slightly different in each browser until you override them with your own styles. So those are our two origins at the moment, the author, i.e. defined in our HTML, and then the user agent. The next option is the exclamation mark important, really showing you quite how important it is. And this property, when applied to any declaration, means that no matter any other conflict, it wins out. Let's look at an example. Returning to the web page we just saw, but this time we're going to jump into the CSS. Now we know that at this moment in time, the ID declaration is winning. If we have a look at the class one here, we could see the font family currently without the important property, and beneath it we have it with the important property commented out. So let's switch these around to make sure that the important applies, refresh the page, and now we can see that no matter what, the property marked with important wins out. So it can be very tempting to always keep using important because you can guarantee that the style that you want will apply, but you have to be careful with it. If you use important too much and then styles get pulled in from other sources, then they're not going to apply. And very easily you can become unstuck knowing quite what is applying where and why. So use it very, very sparingly. Next on our flowchart is scope. And again, scope is quite straightforward. At the moment, this is the style coming from an origin, from a remote origin, or is it an inline style? Let's have another look at an example. Returning again to our web page with a slight amendment this time, we'll see we have one link at the end that has a new class applied and also an inline style. We'll switch to the CSS now and see that right down the bottom of the file, there is the style class definition, setting a background color to this sort of blue that we could see on the other three links. But on the HTML, the background color is overridden by the inline style. So the inline style has precedence. So I feel like in this module, I am telling you several things, then telling you not to use them. And unfortunately, inline styles are the same again. They are very hard to maintain because if you set a blue color in 5 different inline styles and you want to change it, well, you could do a big search and replace, but that's not really the best option. The reason that I bring them up is mostly because things like content management systems and page generators can create them. So in theory, they could be coming from one maintainable source, but if you are creating your own CSS, then avoid them and stick to using proper defined declarations.